Very often when I'm picking up my phone to take a picture, it's not because I'm hoping to see it sitting on the mantelpiece one day or framed on the wall. It's because I'm looking to share that picture almost immediately on social media. So what I thought we'd do is to take a look through 3 or so of the main social media apps and to see what camera capabilities they've got and how they let us edit those photos. First things first, don't automatically head to the App Store for a camera app. Take a look at the stock camera app on the phone. That's the camera app that ships with your phone. And one of the reasons for that, I think, is because very often there are shortcuts that let you open up the camera app really, really quickly from the lock screen. And often social media is about capturing a moment as it happens. And that's why it's worth investing some time in learning about the app that comes with your phone. So let's open up the app that comes with this. And it's actually a pretty decent app. Let's bring this Russian dolly in. So you can see we've got the rule of thirds thing going on here. Let's have a look at the modes on here. We've got this funny pop-out mode, which brings this bubble into the middle of the screen. It's kind of interesting. Let's have a look at what it does. We've got a fisheye effect, black and white, lens blur. It might not be to everyone's taste, but it's certainly quite interesting. This one's probably quite specific to this phone, but the point is experiment, dive into the settings, just choose something and take some pictures of it, because that's the only way that you'll learn. Yes, you can take pictures inside some of the social media apps, but actually if your social media app doesn't have some of these settings, the main point is get to know the built-in camera app on your phone. Dive into the settings, practice taking pictures for when that moment happens that you really do want to capture and then share to social media. You know exactly how to get the shot that you want. Facebook is the world's largest social network, so let's start off there. Open it up, look at the camera on the top left-hand side. Well, it's a camera app. It looks like most other camera apps. But with Facebook, you swipe up. Some of these are looking for a face. If you tap on the magic wand down there, you actually get a thumbnail of a lot of these effects and masks and so on. Now, these aren't going to be for everyone. There's 1 or 2 interesting kind of colour filters in here as well, and monochrome and slight colour process. That was quite nice, quite contrasty. But the majority of the filters on the app here are mainly fun social media sticker type things, and they aren't going to be for you if you want to take some more faithful landscapes or portraits and so on. But at the end of the day, it's social networking, it's about fun. I mean, here we've got a fun honeycomb bee effect, which actually, that's really, really interesting. I like that quite a lot, and I haven't seen that in any dedicated camera apps on here as well. Brilliant. Once you've taken that, you can also add some text, you can draw on top of it, add some stickers. When you're happy with your picture, just tap on share. One thing to add as well is that you can also import photos from your camera roll or camera gallery and then apply these filters to that within Facebook too. So if you did take a picture using the stock camera app on the phone and you want to do the Facebook sticker and filter thing, then there's nothing to stop you doing that. Next up is Twitter. Now, Twitter, again, a hugely popular social networking app, but famous for the brevity of its tweets. With Twitter, to take and edit a photo, you go to compose a new tweet and then tap on camera over here. This opens up the camera mode. In the Twitter app, there are very few options when you're taking a photo. You can turn flash on or off. You can change between a front-facing and the rear-facing camera. But otherwise, that is pretty much it. This is as basic as photo taking gets. So we've taken a photo. We've tapped on the tick. We've got the photo inside a tweet. But then, this is where you edit it. Tap on the pencil. So This now gives us an option to select from about 10 or so different filters, and they're filters that we're used to from other apps. Some high contrast ones, some high saturation colourful ones. There's even a black and white filter at the end. What I always do when I take pictures and they offer me the option is tap on the magic wand, the kind of auto exposure, to see what it does. It's always possible to undo it, but actually I quite like how they've lifted out the Russian dolly from the background because the lighting's not great in here. So I quite like how they've done that. So I'm going to stick with this. You can also crop, reframe if you wish. So they've got options for square, for widescreen, for original. You can rotate, but it's by 90 degrees at a time. You can't finally adjust something if it's only a few degrees out. It's pretty much 90 degrees or nothing. Tap on apply, and because it's a social networking app, you can apply a whole load of stickers if that is your thing. Once you're happy, tap on save, and it'll take you back into the tweet where you can type some text, pop in some hashtags, and then share to your followers. And that really is it for Twitter. Like I say, I think the photo and editing capability in Twitter is pretty reflective of the app itself. It's short, concise, quick bursts of information, and then move on to the next thing. Let's move on to arguably the daddy of photo sharing social networks, Instagram. Your key to taking a new photo is the plus button down here in the middle. Once again, we're presented with a camera app, pretty basic one it seems at that, but it's a square camera app, which obviously is one of Instagram's things. Frame up your photo as before. Tap on the big shutter release button. And that's when things start to become very Instagram-like, because we can tap among a couple of dozen or so different filters. Now, each one of these filters is tuned to do different things. So some of them are quite high contrast, high saturation. Other ones add a little bit of light leak effects. When you get towards the end, there are a couple of black and white filters. Tap on a filter and you can adjust the effect of that filter between 0 and 100. So I've chosen Willow, which is a black and white filter. If I leave it at 100, my picture is totally black and white. But if I just swipe backwards a bit, I can say, well, actually, I'm just going to desaturate it a little bit. So 50 gives me half of that filter's effect. Tap on done, and that's kind of good. And then Instagram's gone and added in some more stuff in the edit tab. So you can adjust the angle, the brightness, the contrast, the structure, warmth, saturation, color. Basically, you can make your own filters here should you wish. So some of these, like vignettes, let you just darken the outside of the frame, which again is a really nice way of drawing the viewer's attention to the center of the frame where your subject may well be. You can tap on the picture to show the before and after. So if you just want to make sure that you've applied the right amount, just tapping on the picture will show you with and without the effect. So I'm going to add that vignette. Tap on done. And then another effect that's definitely worth experimenting with is tilt shift. Some people call it a toy effect, and that knocks some of the areas of the photo out of focus. Instagram gives us a couple of options. Radial, which is round, and what that lets us do is select a point anywhere. It doesn't have to be the middle with this. Select a point, and then that is going to be the bit of the picture that is in focus. The rest of it is going to be blurred, and you can select exactly how much is blurred and how much isn't blurred just by pinching and zooming. The other type of tilt shift is a linear one. So rather than a round in and out of focus thing, you've got the lines here. So I'm going to make it so a line across my Russian dolly's eyes is in focus and everything else is blurry. And again, it's all about directing the viewer's attention to where you, as the photographer, wants them to be looking. Tap on done. Tap on next, and then this is where you can write a caption, add some hashtags should you wish, or to help aid discovery, help other people to find your pictures. You can add a location too. One final thing to remember about Instagram is that while it obviously shares the photos you take to the Instagram social network, you can also use it to share photos to your other social networks as well. So as you can see here, Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr can all receive your Instagram photos. So that's just looking at 3 social networking apps and what camera capabilities and what editing capabilities they have. There are loads of social networks. I think the most important thing is to get to know the camera that's built into your phone and its camera app, because very often that gives you a little bit more control, lets you be a little bit more creative than we've seen some of the cameras in the apps are. But have a look at the editing capabilities in those apps, because there are loads of interesting filters, loads of different things you can do, and creative things as well. You know, certainly in Facebook just now, I saw a filter that I'd never seen before. I certainly can't wait to use that the next time I'm out and about shooting. So explore, experiment, have fun, and of course, share your photos. That's what social networking apps are great for. Taking your photos, sharing them with your friends, getting some feedback, but of course being inspired by other people's photos as well.